Yeah, donc, tu vois. Hello, we are on Open World Forum 2012. We are with Dave and Leslie. Hello. You are a track leader of FoSS for Humanity. Can you explain us what is exactly your track?
Yeah, sure. So there's been a huge amount of work in the open source technology community to help humanitarian causes. The origin of the movement really is around the tsunami in the Indian Ocean in 2004. That was the foundation of the Sahana project, which is one of the best known open source projects in the humanitarian area, which is a project to help during a crisis, to help find people, to help people know what emergency services are there. It's kind of a crowdsourcing open source platform. And so that's one project, but we've got a range of projects which are addressing crisis management, mapping and information, but also more long-term issues, things like literacy, healthcare, education, water supply in the third world, and it's software which makes it easier to manage these types of efforts. And so the humanitarian track, for the last 3 years, we've brought together these projects at the Open World Forum, and we've shared experiences, and it's really been an opportunity for these projects to meet each other and to collaborate more.
Okay, and what are the best moments of this year's annual events, the best track or intervention?
Well, I think in terms of the humanitarian track, one of my favorite talks this year was by Heather Blanchard, who was the founder of the Crisis Commons community. And Heather treated us all to an inside look at some of the obstacles facing disaster management teams, especially in terms of understanding how aid agencies work versus volunteers on the ground who are trying to give assistance when a disaster strikes. And that insider perspective was very helpful in understanding what some of those challenges are and how those of us in the free software community can help other people who'd like to help in times of crisis to actually give that assistance. And of course, the other favorite part, because I am an unabashed Open MRS fangirl, was getting the opportunity to tell the audience about the Open Medical Record System project, which is a world-class electronic healthcare record system that was specifically designed to help patients in Africa who are suffering from HIV be able to get the quality healthcare that they needed.
Okay, and for you, Dave?
Both of those were excellent talks. I think that the conference, the track really broke down into two parts. There was one part which was dealing with crises, and one of the projects that Mark Pritsalis from the Sahana Software Foundation presented a project which I think is really exciting. It's a collaboration between URD, Group URD here in Paris, between France Volontaire, the OpenStreetMap community, Sahana Software Foundation, and their goal is to train volunteers and aid workers who are going into Africa now to establish a baseline of information which will be useful later in crisis, let's say areas which are more liable to crises, areas which have more
At risk.
potential.
Yeah.
At risk. And so they're training people in using these open source tools, creating that infrastructure now, so that when there's a crisis, there's a baseline of information that can be built upon to really help information. That was one that I liked. And another project that I liked was David Loureiro from Cisfera, who presented the Decrypton project. And this is a cause which is very close to my heart. One of the projects that they've done is to work with the telethon. It's kind of like SETI at home. You have a screensaver which analyzes some genetic data. So it's helping medical research. It's specifically helping to cure muscular dystrophy by sharing computer time that individuals have on their own computer and putting those extra computer cycles to use in medical research. I think it's an excellent project.
I just have to add one thing. I'm on the board of the Sahana Software Foundation, so I would be in deep trouble if I did not point out that Mark Pritsalis' presentation was excellent on that topic. And following up on Dave's point, the project that he referenced was the Eurosha project, and there's information about that online now at eurosha.org. So folks who are interested in learning more should go check that out and see areas where they can volunteer.
Yeah, it's important. Where can we find information about this different project? It exists one website?
Well, Eurosha is actually a pretty good resource, but I think no. there is not one place where you can get information about all of the humanitarian projects that I know of. But there are several projects that are kind of umbrella projects that try to regroup projects. One is the HFOSS project.
So
Leslie may know of others.
Yeah, so there's the Humanitarian FoSS project, which is it's actually an academic project from a university on the East Coast of the United States that was designed to get university students involved in humanitarian free and open source software. So that's hfoss.org. There's also the Humanitarian FoSS Wiki, which collects information about various humanitarian FoSS projects. I don't remember the URL, so you'll have to search for that. And I think that other places that are good to find information about various HFOSS projects would include crisiscommons.org, because there have been several HFOSS projects that have been used by folks in the Crisis Commons community to respond to disasters. And there's not only documentation about each of those projects, but also extensions that folks in the community have made during disasters while working with Crisis Commons.
And Crisis Commons organize, and they're not the only people who organize, like a bar camp called Crisis Camps, and these happen all over the world. There are several of them even in Paris. And one other initiative that I think is worthy of note is the Random Hacks of Kindness, RHOK project, which is an excellent opportunity for technical people to get together over a weekend and solve deep, big problems that that make the world a better place.
Okay, thank you, Dave, and thank you, Leslie. Thank you for your initiative, because I think it's a very great moment, a very important track on this event. And see you next year, I think.
Great. Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.